Hey guys, welcome to the next set of Jones Notes. We are on Unit 7, Lesson 5, Electromagnets. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, electromagnetism is this fancy vocab word that we are going to be learning about today. So this results, or happens when electric currents and magnetic fields interact. Okay, when they interact. So what that means is that basically when we have electricity, which is like an electric charge which we would get from a battery, creates this magnetic field on something made of typically iron. So what happens is you need three things to make an electromagnet. Okay, those three things would be the following. You would need some sort of electric charge, which we would usually get from a battery. Okay, you would need an iron core. So this is the thing that's going to become the magnet part. So we usually use like an iron nail. So that's what we will be using in our drawing. And then the last thing you're going to need is something to basically connect the two, which will make more sense here when I draw it in a second. But that would be some sort of wire that would be conducting the electricity, which we call this very scientific word called a solenoid. Okay, so it's S-O-L-E-N-O-I-D. So a solenoid is that iron, or wraps around the iron core. So back to my fancy drawings. So if I have a battery, we typically, whenever you have this end, it's a positive end of the battery, or when you say end, it's usually the more scientific word is terminal. So we have a positive and negative terminal. We have what we call our iron core or our nail. And then what we're going to do is we would have a piece of wire that would go and wrap around the iron core and connect back. So this would be the battery, the iron core or the nail, and then this wire again is called a solenoid. So you need those three things to connect. To make your electromagnet stronger, you can do two things. You could have a stronger battery. Okay, so more voltage coming out of the battery, or you can have more coils. And what I mean is this coil wrapping around. So more coils basically means that it's going to convert that electric charge to this nail more through induction. So it's going to go around. So more coils, so you would just wrap it around more times. Basically, the more surface area between the wire and the nail, the stronger it can be. Okay, so that would make it a stronger electromagnet. Now, the whole point of doing this is so that this iron nail becomes magnetic. Okay, so we use a lot of heavy equipment in like the construction field where we would use an electromagnet. There's electromagnets in cars. So you basically would just need these three parts in some form to make this end magnetic. So that is an electromagnet. Another thing that we learn about in this lesson in the book, and I do want to remind you, these are just very quick review notes. So you can use your book to get a little bit more in depth, or your 8th grade study guide that I made you guys. Sorry, my camera's acting up. So another main idea is the difference between a motor and a generator. Okay, a motor and a generator. So basically, it's a difference of going from one type of energy to another. So a motor, we would be using electric energy, and it would be converting into mechanical energy. It's going to basically make something move. So you can kind of think of it as like a machine, so a motor. So an example of things with motors would be things like cars, lawnmowers, fans, things like that. So I'm going to write etc. Where a generator is the opposite. So it's going to be using something that is already moving. So mechanical energy, or sometimes it's other forms, but more often it's mechanical, converting to electric energy. So it's going to be generating or making electricity. So some people have like a backup generator at their house. A lot of schools have backup generators, and different companies and buildings have them. But these would be more of like some renewable energy sources. So you would have like a windmill would be a prime example. Another one could be solar panels, even though that would be more not mechanical, but it is actually like the movement of like the heat from the solar energy from the sun. But really, windmills are probably the most easy to understand. So knowing the difference between a motor and a generator. So I'm going to actually cloud both of those. So motors and generators. That's pretty much it for electromagnets, just knowing, how it works. The idea is for the electricity to be going around through the coils and making this iron nail strong. I don't know if you guys remember me going over this in class, but I showed you the junkyard video where they turn the electromagnet on and it picks up all of the scrap metal and moves it elsewhere, so it does a lot of heavy lifting for you. So we as scientists use this to engineer different types of tools and devices to make our lives a little easier. So those of you looking to go into the engineer field or design or any science, like this is good stuff to remember and keep in mind. So again, this is lesson 5, which is electromagnets. More in-depth notes would be on my giant Jones Notes packet, but this is just a little review. I hope these videos are helping you. I'm going to do one more video today, which is our lesson 6, which is the final forces lesson in 8th grade content, which is energy. So stay tuned for that one. I hope you are having a nice day and staying safe and healthy. I will see you later.